Lez Hang Out. And let's talk about what Lez is about. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Lez Hang Out. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lez Hang Out, the podcast where another one bites the dust.
Boom, boom, boom.
Another one bites the dust. It's just me doing a bass solo this time.
Yeah, that's good.
Then
That's
another
good.
one gone.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
I don't know where you're going here. I honestly never know.
I'm turning into all the instruments.
I should really try to guess the songs they're going to do at the intros, but
that honestly would be a fun segment.
Yeah.
We should consider it.
Next week I will figure out I will get in your head before it happens.
You'll never.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. From the West Coast, I'm Lee Holmes Foster.
From the East Coast, I'm Earley. To those who've been with us through this whole journey, thank you as always for listening. If you're a new listener, welcome. We're excited to have you here. Here's what's happening this week. This week in the Lesdom. This week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. In season 9, we are continuing to release our Patreon bonus episodes. You can listen to those at bit.ly/lespatreon. Our next one will be on my old ass.
And it is our last couple chances to sign up for our trip to France. We are going to be closing those spots and booking things soon. So if you are interested in joining us in Paris and in Bordeaux from March 25th to 31st, 2026, you can sign up at bit.ly/lesdofrance.
In the greater Les universe, Sabrina Carpenter and Nicole Kidman have broken the sapphic internet by flirting with each other in public at basically Sabrina Carpenter's threatening to move in with Nicole Kidman. I don't know what is happening, but Sabrina Carpenter...
She's given her handcuffs. She's flirting. They're moving in. Like, it was a whole lot.
It was a whole lot. So I'd like to say we're sorry we had that whole episode about you, Sabrina. I believe you now.
Yeah, all it took was one more time, actually.
Yeah,
now we're
this
sold.
is the final queer bait. I'm in.
Speaking of blossoming new queer relationships, the internet is all a Twitter with did Padma Lakshmi and Melissa King hard launch their relationship or not? And listen, I'm sorry, but like if dressing as Gomez and Morticia together isn't gay,
I mean,
I don't understand.
It's clearly gay. Me and Bailey went as Gomez and Morticia this Halloween, right?
I know, because it's a gay couple's costume.
If that wasn't enough, we went to a queer Halloween party at a friend's house. 3 Gomez and Morticias at the party. The second we walked in, they were like, "Oh, there's 2 other Gomez and Morticias here." To which we were like, "Makes sense, gay." And the second thing, we were like, "Fuck, we need to come up with a better, more unique gay costume next year because we will not have other people stepping on our costume." But my point is, Gomez and Morticia are fucking gay icons. You cannot say
gay icons.
Those are not best friends.
No, and it's also like, here's the thing. There's an article that I found with a quote from Padma Lakshmi where she's like, "Oh, like, yeah, she's fun. We enjoy each other's company. She tends to be my +1 sometimes, so people will see us on the red carpet together."
You're together.
Do you mean you're dating?
Your date.
Do you mean your date?
Yeah. Well, if you got a +1 for a wedding, who are you taking? Melissa King. It's a hard launch.
I feel like it's a hard launch.
Also, Padma Lakshmi is openly bisexual. So
yes.
I don't feel like there's like any like underlying, "Oh no, they're straight and friends." Like, you're gay, you're together. We're happy for you.
Yeah.
Own the hard launch.
Own the hard launch.
Also, looks like there's a new Mummy movie coming out, which bisexuals are going to be freaking out about.
Listen, the gays deserve this.
Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz coming back to our screens. I'm here for it. Yeah.
If the first Mummy movie didn't make you gay, you know,
the 4th one will.
A couple decades ago, then this one.
This is your moment.
This is your time. You know, and I'm just really excited for the next generation of little queer babies coming up who are going to have a good, wholesome Mummy movie to have some, you know.
Queer awakenings, too.
Queer awakenings.
There's a mummy awakening from the tomb, and there's a baby queer awakening from their gay grave. That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee. We are so excited to bring you episode 6 of season 9. Gimme More. But it's more spelled with a T at the end, like death in French. Get it? A visual pun on
We
a
love
podcast intro. We love it. And we are joined by a very special guest today. We have Elizabeth Earley, who is the author and host of the popular Substack series Queering Reality, the author of 2 novels, A Map of Everything and Like Wings Your Hands, winner of the American Fiction Prize for the best LGBTQ novel, and whose newest story collection, Little Deaths All in a Row, just dropped last month. Elizabeth, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
We're very excited to talk to you. Why don't you let our listeners know before we start about your newest story collection and the inspiration for it?
Yeah, so this is the most vulnerable thing I've ever written. It's the first nonfiction book I've written and published. And the inspiration for it was my own brush with death, which happened in 2018. I had a near fatal motorcycle accident. And what happened was I found myself bleeding to death on the hood of a car and panicking. And it was the first panic attack I've ever had in my whole life. And I didn't die, clearly. I'm sitting here. A series of miracles happened to prevent me from dying. But ever since that time, it bothered me so much that I was going to meet this inevitable moment that we all have to meet while freaking out and panicking. So I really wanted to interrogate this terrible fear that I have of death and figure it out and fix it and come to terms with it so that the next time I meet it, I have some peace in my mind. Because I have this belief that the quality of our death matters. And I don't know why I believe that. I think it's because I studied Buddhism in my 20s. But I believe that it matters. I believe that the kind of state of mind that we're in when we cross over that thinnest of veils has some sort of purpose or impact or what have you for what comes next. So another Buddhist influence, as Pema Chodron teaches us, what do you do with something when you want to overcome your fear of it, is you get closer to it, you get more intimate with it. So I volunteered for hospice and I started to help people as they were dying. I do this energy healing modality called Reiki, and I gave people Reiki while they were dying. And I had these beautiful experiences doing that. And so this book came out of that. It came out of my fear of death, my pursuit of overcoming my fear of death, and my encounters with strangers that were incredibly intimate in that pursuit.
Have you overcome the fear of death, do you feel?
I have not. But what I discovered
Ellie really cut to the whole lead here.
Yeah. I mean,
Did it work? No. Okay.
No,
well, good
that's
episode,
okay.
everyone.
No.
No, I have not.
Well, I feel like there's more to it than that, obviously.
I'm just as afraid. However, what I did overcome was my fear of love. And I didn't know that I had that when I started out on this journey. And that is where sex comes into the equation. I think that I've also always been fascinated with the philosophical intertwining of these two diametrically opposed concepts, sex and death. And they were first linked by that French philosopher, Georges Bataille, who coined the phrase le petit mort for the orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
And it made sense to me just intuitively that they would be linked, but it didn't make sense to me for the reason that it made sense to him.
Why does that make sense to you?
And I have an essay about this in the book. It's called Bright Brain. But there's this beautiful study that was done with fMRI of the female orgasm and what happens in the brain. And at the moment of, it's called extended sexual response in women when we have multiple orgasms. At the moment of orgasm, the whole brain lights up, and it's this bright brain phenomenon. And a similar thing happens at the moment of death. And then there's one other context at which this happens, and it's when women give birth. So the theory is that what makes this happen is this chemical that the pituitary gland releases called DMT. And the only time that a male gets to experience that bright brain phenomenon is at the moment of death. And so this man, George Bataille, he thought that the orgasm was a little death because your brain goes dead and dormant and like nothing happens. Contrarily,
because he's a man.
Because he's a man. Contrarily, for a woman, I thought it made sense intuitively because I become ecstatically alive and I have incredible creative ideas and things come to me that I want to write down when I have that experience. So that's why it made sense.
Did this book come to you during an orgasm as well? You were like, I must do this.
Parts of it did. I won't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
this is the muse no one's talking enough about, okay?
I mean, I do feel like, I feel like when we are talking about a muse in general, though, I feel like it is a sexual thing. It's like, oh, you're my muse because I get to have sex with you and then I'm creative. But I feel like it's more like a man thing that they say that.
Is that what you think people always mean when they say a muse, Ellie?
I envision a muse like Titanic.
No, we're going to need to say more there.
Rose lying naked and he paints her. That's a muse.
That's a muse. I get to have sex with you and therefore
I get to have sex with you, therefore you are my muse. I feel like it is very much tied to the sexual. You don't think so?
I feel like it's just like inspiration.
Yes, it is inspiration.
I don't know that I've ever thought there's an inherently has to be sexual.
I always thought of, no, it doesn't have to be sexual, but I do feel like oftentimes it is linked to the sexual.
Yeah.
Your muse is orgasms, Ellie.
I don't know.
Whatever works. Listen.
I do love the concept of conceptualizing the female orgasm as like this source of creativity. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the male orgasm as a
as death.
One. Yeah. Truly, we've really nailed this.
As void of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm just in a headspace. And you don't have to answer this if it's too personal. I'm curious for both of you. Have you ever had like visions, like actual visions where you will see things?
Absolutely.
Like, because in your book there was like I forget the exact line, but I had read like where it was like we see colors, we like there's all kinds of like things that happen. You've seen visions.
Yes.
What kinds of visions?
One time I had this beautiful image of my whatever it is that like animates my body, whatever it is that looks out through my eyes. It was like lifting up out through the top of my head and sort of like reaching and about to go, and then it crashed back down in. And that's what happened. Like
your soul, quote unquote, or what you would consider to be the soul.
Yeah, let's call it that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you had visions, Ellie?
I don't know if I've had like visions. I feel as though it's more lights, colors. I don't feel like they're like fully formed. I feel like it's more a blur of colors. I don't feel like I've ever had a very like graphic, like I feel like for some people I have spoken to that it is actually like a full vision where they see like scenery or something like that. I just have like blurred, vibrant colors. But I'm just curious because everyone's in their own head. You know what I mean? You don't really know what's happening only in your own body,
Yeah.
So I'm just curious. What about you, Lee? Too personal?
I don't think I have. No, now I'm just curious. You know what this feels like is like, when I feel like there was like a few years back and the big thing was everyone sort of realizing that like aphantasia exists, right? Like where some people don't have the ability to like picture stuff in their heads, right? And then the people who do have aphantasia were like, what are you talking about? You see things in your head. Like, what do you mean? That's what I feel like right now. I'm like, what do you mean you see colors? You see visions? No, I don't think I've had that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like everyone is different. That's the thing. But that's why I was curious.
We're each
now
a whole
I feel like
world.
I'm missing out.
Well, I feel like some people it's visual, some people it's more like obviously it's physical for everyone, right? But like
Right.
I feel like there have been some times where I'm like, I can't hear anymore. I don't know how to describe it. All of a sudden I can't hear and then I can hear again. I don't know. But it's very interesting.
Almost like a short death, one might say.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Just
Just a petite mort.
a little death, you know?
Just curious. But I do find that fascinating. So that, like, when you were exploring that, you were like, sex and death make sense together because of those experiences that you, like, the feelings that you feel in each moment.
Yeah, they made sense together for me for that reason, but for a lot of other reasons too. And I explore those different connections in this series of essays. And then also just that circling back to that fear of love thing that I didn't know I had. I think that, you know, romantic love for me has been pretty tragic. And this is the culprit. This was the culprit. It was this fear of love. And I needed to experience love in a container outside of romantic. And I needed to experience deep intimacy in a container outside of romantic in order to overcome that fear and to really just be open-hearted and vulnerable and fully free to give and receive love. And I'm going to cry because it was such a moving and beautiful experience. And what I learned is that people who are at death's door, like at the very end of their life, it's the same for little babies. Like when you first come into the world and when you're ready to go out, you're just a huge open heart and there is nothing in the way. And you're so free to give and receive love. And so I showed up for those people at that moment and there was nothing in the way. And I was able to reciprocate and I was able to be available for that. And that broke through and that made the fear go away. And then I was able to carry that into that context of romantic love and finally, you know, be able to be open-hearted and be vulnerable and not so scared in that context as well. So also going back through, you know, some of my biggest romantic loves and looking at, you know, how I've sort of been in my own way and repeating some patterns and playing out tragedies and woundedness, you know, as we do just because of the fear. And so, no, I did not overcome my fear of death, but I did surprisingly overcome this other fear that I didn't know I had.
I'm curious, do you have a feeling now about what you think the directionality of that was? Like, do you think that there's a fear of death because of a fear of love or a fear of love because of a fear of death? Do you know what I mean?
I like it's a fear of, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which, the chicken or the egg?
I think that the fear of death and the fear of love might be connected because what it is the fear of, it's really kind of like this ego, right? So what is it that loves, right? And we're getting really deep here. But like whatever it is that loves is probably not the animal body or maybe it is, but there's something deeper than that. There's something more transcendent than that experiences this phenomenon that we call love. So that thing is probably something that also transcends the body and the finite life, the beginning and the end of the body. So in that sense, there's really nothing to fear, but the body is going to end. It's going to end and it's going to turn to dust. And there's a sadness in that, and there's a grief in that. I'm attached to this body. I'm attached to this expression of whatever it is that I am. I'm attached to Elizabeth Earley. And I'm never going to be Elizabeth Earley again. I'm never going to look like this and have this body and have this voice. And so that, let's call it the ego for convenience sake. That is the thing that, you know, I think gets afraid and that we kind of want to be invulnerable and shut down and close our hearts. And walking around fearful with armor on because we think that there's something there to protect and something there to preserve. But what I realized through doing this work, volunteering for hospice, is that that's all smoke and mirrors. And really, we are always just as vulnerable, like as we are when we're first born and as we are when we're just about to die, all the way through the middle. We're just pretending like we're not. So there's really, the best thing to do is to just surrender that falseness that we call ego and be open-hearted and give and receive the love. And there's a freedom in that. There's a lightness in that. And it's really beautiful.
I feel like I definitely agree, especially on the thing of like love not being like a thing of our body. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is, I think it's why we always say like there's, I think all of us know those people who are just like, they can only do the like honeymoon phase of a relationship. It's like they do the kind of like, yeah, sure, your body's giving you all the like happy, lusty, sexy chemical fun stuff. But then it's like once that kind of wears off and they're like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I think that there's like, I feel like there is a difference between that's what I associate as the like the body part of the love thing, and then I think there's the part, the everything else of it, that is very different. But I feel like there's so many directions that I want to go in with all of this, and I don't even know where I want to start, because if people don't come to our silly little queer comedy podcast for like deep discussions of what happens when you die, like I don't know
why you're here. Yeah.
why you're here. What are we doing here? Like maybe what I'll do before we dive into the like, what do we think that it is? What do we think is going to happen? But maybe what I would start with is, while we're still sort of in this space of like the love and dying and our bodies and our things and our brains and all of this stuff, like I'm curious, as someone who has worked in hospice and stuff like that, like, because what I was thinking about when we were talking about the whole like the brain scans and the orgasming and giving birth and dying and all of this messy body stuff, I'm curious, like I feel like you always hear these things of like, your body knows how to die, and like, because I think I've heard people say that, and I've heard it in the same context as like when you're giving birth, and it's like your body knows how to do this, and like I'm curious what your experience with those sorts of sentiments are, like having now been so much more present, like you were saying.
So what my experience is with my visceral body and what it knows.
I guess yes, and also in the sense that like, because I found it really fascinating what you were saying of like, that is a moment where people sort of go back to this state of just being like open to give and receive love, and I'm curious like where that sort of fits into this idea of like the act of dying itself and how our bodies relate to that, and because that's not a thing I've heard someone express in those words before, of like that at the moment that someone is dying, like actively, I guess, actively dying, that like there's suddenly this shift that you were putting into words of like that ability to have that be an experience of love, right?
Yeah. It's interesting. The words that you're putting to it are making me realize that what happens, I think, is that when our bodies are weakened and when they're no longer strong and when we're rendered sort of helpless, that's what sort of brings us to the inevitability of our true vulnerability. And so we surrender to it. That's always true. It's true when our bodies are strong. We just have the ability to kind of fake it better when our bodies are strong and walk around like we're not vulnerable, but we absolutely are. We're these very fragile, squishy pieces of meat that can be
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
easily ripped apart.
Yes.
Meat on legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I know from colliding with metal and concrete at, a very modest 30 miles per hour, which can do lots of damage. When our bodies help us to understand how truly vulnerable we are, that is when we can sort of surrender the ego more easily and be free to give and receive love and open our hearts freely without, the fear, and just let the fear kind of evaporate. There was the first hospice client that I had was this 97-year-old woman, and among the first dozen words she said to me were, "I love you." Just, she just loved me, like
Mm-hmm.
that was just right there on the surface, for her
And
to
do you
give.
feel like you're thinking about like when you're like a teenager and you're like or like even in your early 20s and you're like, I can't say I love you. Like I have to wait to say I love you because like
and
I feel it, but like I'm not gonna say it. And it's like, who gives a fuck?
And
Like,
you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of my 2-year-old when I first met her, from my ex-wife, my stepdaughter, who among the first dozen words she said to me were, "I love you."
Mm.
Mhm.
So it's that same. That's why I correlate like the end of life, the beginning of life. Like there's nothing in the way. It's just we have these huge open hearts and we're balls of energy and we're responding to other balls of energy. And
Mhm.
there's just, oh, I love that ball of energy. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop me from saying it.
I like that a lot. I feel like it's like I personally have had quite a bit of death around me in the past like few years. And some people like really close to me, some people who are very young. And I feel like when you experience that, you really have to sit with what is important.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's like all of the stuff that's like our bodies or money, I'm like, or like, you know what I mean? Like these like physical, tangible things that are like the world around us. They don't really matter when someone you care about has just passed away.
Right.
And like the thing you care about the most is like connecting with these other balls of energy
Yeah.
that are around you. And I think it's obviously sad and there's a lot of sadness and grief, but I think there is a lot of pure love surrounding a death as well.
Yeah.
Like, so I totally understand what you mean when you're saying you connect back with your vulnerability.
Yeah.
Of like that piece of you that is just like, yeah, not of the body. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I think makes complete sense. And yeah, you have to confront your own mortality and be like, we are just these bags of meat. Like you like you said, there's a false sense of security, like, oh well, I will live till 100, and that's just how it is.
Right.
Like there's nothing in between. And there's
Yeah.
many different steps in between that could be the end of this physical existence.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I don't know. I think for me, I feel like I've been very much like living like I might die any day, but I don't think but I feel like that's a good thing. Like, I feel like it's like cheesy when people are like, live like you're dying, whatever. But it's also true.
Yeah.
Like we are all every single day dying.
It's true. It's true.
It is also sometimes the thing that just feels like the most it feels the most human in that, and I mean human in the sense of like that meme where like, the angel is talking to God and he's like, "Oh, you like ruined a perfectly good monkey." Like, right? Like it feels the most human in the sense that it's like there is one guaranteed thing that all of us know beyond the shadow of a doubt will happen at one moment and that you will never know when it's going to happen, and instead we're just like, I will be terrified of that absolutely guaranteed thing that's going to happen, right? Like
Yeah.
it feels like a design flaw somewhere in there. It's like, what
Yeah.
what went wrong here, But I think that's it does feel incredibly in line with just humanity's response to things as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're all just going to retreat into our own quiet,
know, I'm like,
meditative brain
yes.
spaces to go, and I'm okay right now, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Everything's
that's
fine.
that's why there's really no getting around. I mean, for me personally, no getting around the fear of death and I don't believe people who say they're not afraid of it, because this body will end, and like I said, it's incredible. It's an absolute beautiful miracle. It's highly intelligent. Like, it was ripped apart and it autonomously fucking put itself back together. Like, bones grew back together, skin grew back together, blood regenerated. I mean, it is an absolute highly intelligent, autonomous system that is mine and that I get to ride through the world in, and it's precious to me and I love it. And so I do have to part with it one day, and that breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart. So no matter what, I fear that day, and I'm always going to. I do, though, want to have enough, I want to develop enough emotional maturity and intelligence to become more graceful and skillful with goodbyes so that I can part with my body in a loving and gracious way and say thank you for everything that you've given me and all the experiences we've had together, and I love you, and goodbye.
I'm going to say that's a perfect segue for us to take a hot break. We're all going to ponder our mortality through some sponsors for a minute, and then we can come back and talk about what we think that's going to be and how to make ourselves less terrified of it. See you on the other side.
The holidays are approaching, and everyone knows that this time of year, the sooner you can get things done, the better. For both shoppers and businesses, the best time to score great deals during the holidays is during that Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. And if you have your own business, whether you've been around the block a few times or this is your first year going through the holiday sale rush, the most important thing you can have is a platform that can handle everything that's about to be thrown at you. This is a crucial time for your business and your customers. And with Shopify, you can be sure that your tools and platform are ready for anything that comes your way. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names to entrepreneurs who will be participating in their first Black Friday, Cyber Monday this year. With everything else going on, you probably don't have time to spend hours poring over every little detail in your online store. That's why Shopify's thousands of templates and tools help you streamline website creation and make sure that your site isn't just aesthetically pleasing, but functional and easy to use. Shopify's expedited checkout, Shop Pay, saves customer information and reduces hassle. And the best part is that it's been proven to boost conversions, meaning you'll see less abandoned carts and more profits. You can also stress less knowing that Shopify's award-winning customer support team is on standby 24/7 to help with any issues that arise, allowing you to get back to your business as fast as possible. This Black Friday, join the thousands of new entrepreneurs hearing for the first time with Shopify. Sign up for your free trial today at shopify.com/realm. That's shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm and make this Black Friday one to remember.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Tom.
So big news to share, right?
Yes, huge, monumental, earth-shaking.
Heartbeat sound effect big. Mort is back.
That's right. After a brief snack nap.
We're coming back. We're picking snacks.
We're eating snacks.
We're rating snacks.
Like the snackologists we were born to be.
Mort is back.
Mike and Tom eat snacks.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Unless you get them from a snack machine, in which case, call us.
Call us.
Do you guys hear that?
Oh, that's our podcast Ruin, brought to you by me, your host, intrepid horror movie freak Hallie Kiefer.
And me, your resident scaredy cat, Allison Leiby. Join us each week as Hallie forces me to listen to the twisted plot of yet another bone-chilling horror movie.
From classics like The Exorcist and The Thing, to the latest releases, to the most disgusting films on streaming, we ruin them all every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts.
So come join us, and until then, we beg you, please,
keep it spooky.
When they were young, the 5 members of an elite commando group nicknamed the Stone Wolves raged against the oppressive rule of the Craterakian Empire, which occupies and dominates most of the galaxy's inhabited planets. The Wolves fought for freedom, but they failed, leaving countless corpses in their wake. Defeated and disillusioned, they hung up their guns and went their separate ways, all hoping to find some small bit of peace amidst a universe thick with violence and oppression. 4 decades after their heyday, they each try to stay alive and eke out a living. But a friend from the past won't let them move on, and neither will their bitterest enemy. The Stone Wolves is season 11 of the Galactic Football League science fiction series by author Scott Sigler. Enjoy it as a standalone story or listen to the entire GFL series beginning with season 1, The Rookie. Search for Scott Sigler, Sigler, wherever you get your podcasts.
So I am curious because as you were just saying before we all, just dissociated during some ads and thought about death for a while, getting better or getting more graceful or getting less, afraid of that. I feel like often I think people try to approach that from the perspective of trying to have an idea of what's going to happen after we die. And I'm curious, for someone who has clearly spent so much time thinking about death, do you have like a personal model theory that feels right now for you? Or is it just, you're like, I don't know, it's all out the window and we're just going to wing it?
Unfortunately, I don't know. I really, really want to know. And I feel so gypped that I came so close to death and I didn't get to like glimpse, So
you
many
didn't
people...
you didn't have like the near-death experience where you saw...
No, and so
there was no
over.
light at the end of the tunnel.
So many people do, right? So many people get to see it, and then they come back and they're like, oh, I know exactly what happens, and I'm so excited to die now. No, I don't know, but I feel, I'm going to say 78% sure that it's not nothing, and that something happens, and that it involves more information than what we have access to while we're in these bodies. That's my hope. My hope is that we go on as a consciousness and that we access more information.
I like that. Well, I feel like it is a tough sell to feel like there's nothing, right? Because that's just feels even more scary and difficult to process. Like, I feel like as somebody who grew up Catholic, I feel like there's a lot of religion that's really just like, okay, we created this religion to basically figure out what happens after you die. Like, every human's afraid of death, so pretty much every religion has some sort of like option for what happens, right?
There's too much. The world is way too magical for there to be nothing. I mean, just look at the back of one single leaf and the network of veins and the symmetry. I mean, there's no way that it's nothing.
I feel like I agree with that in terms of there's like mystical, magical things in this world that you can't explain, right? And I do feel like, I don't know what it is after, but like when my friend Steph passed, I had the most vivid dream of her. And like in a really weird way that I'm like, of course I would dream of her because I'm thinking of her. But like, she just kept repeating like, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Like, it was very much like, I'm giving you this message, I'm waiting until you receive it, and then I'm leaving.
Wow.
And like, that was it. And it was so vivid and clear and like, did not feel like a dream. Don't know how to describe it. Like, obviously I was sleeping when this happened, but it just like didn't feel like a dream. I can't. And I know that so many other people have experienced something like that.
Yeah.
And of course there's that feeling of you want to see this person. But I think also like our intuition knows something. So I don't know. I think there definitely is something else. I don't know if it's the Catholic version of heaven / hell. I don't know the like logistics of that. I feel like it's interesting because like Catholicism's like heaven is in the sky, and we're like, well, we fly airplanes in the sky, and like I didn't see all the angels, so like I'm not sure if it's legitimately in the sky, but I do feel like and want to think there is a place where our consciousnesses see the rest of the consciousnesses that we connected with.
The planes just don't get high enough, Ellie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Get
You're
higher.
right. Well, I mean,
there.
how high past? I mean, we've also explored the universe.
Sure.
Are they in the stars? Yeah.
It's just higher. You just got to go higher, okay? Don't think about it. It's higher.
Yeah. I mean, we can't, you know.
Purgatory also totally real, but you can just pay your way out. It's fine.
Pay your way out.
There is no fault with the Catholic model.
No. I also love
no notes. 10 out of 10.
I love being gay, of course, but like I love the concept of every gay person goes to hell because it's like, okay, well, if that's true, then like cool. Like, bye guys. Like, so we just get to go to a gay club forever.
Right? Yeah.
I'm like, do I want that? I don't know. More like a gay, like, board game night. I don't need the club.
Right. Yeah.
But I do find that to be my favorite theory. I don't know if it's no one knows what's true, obviously, right?
Right.
And that's the crazy thing about it.
Some people claim to know what's true, and I'm very interested in what they have to say.
Do you mean the people who have had like near-death experiences and feel like they did experience something, or do you mean other people who are like, I know?
All of them, all of the above. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's people who claim to be like mediums who talk with people. And one interesting aspect is that I interviewed a lot of mediums, psychic mediums. I didn't use any of that for this book.
Was there stuff you wanted to use and you just like couldn't find the right thing for it?
Yeah, I spent so much time talking to so many mediums, and there were so many bad and fake ones. And there were like one or two ones that seemed like they were legit. And I wasn't sure what I was looking for or what it would materialize in. And I did actually use like one just fraction of one reading in the book, but it didn't amount to much. And it wasn't anything like I thought it might be. But yeah, I'm always interested in what people think about, especially if they're really sure, you know. I'm always like, I lean in and I want to hear. I met this one woman recently who claimed to remember where she came from before she was born, like vividly.
Mm-hmm.
So vividly that she said she had this sense of homesickness and that she couldn't wait to die. But there was and that begs the question, of course, of, well, why don't you like take yourself out? And she answered that question without me even asking it. That's not, if you do that, she said, you start over again from the beginning. It's like kind of like a video game where whatever you're here to move through, you have to move through it to the other side, or you just start over at the beginning and you start moving through it again. So it's like, oh, that would be the worst, because then I'd have to walk through all of this just again, like all of the painful things in my childhood, I'd have to do them all over again. So I just need to see it through, and then I get to go back home. But
also, there's like, I'm always fascinated by the things where, and I mean, again, it's like, I think part of what's so what's fun about death is, I always think that the things that I find the most interesting are the ones with things like that. Like, and I think it's very common actually in kids. Like it's a very common recurring story that kids will be like, oh yeah, well, like before I came here, you know, like before I chose you as my parents, before I was here, like, and some of them are like, you know, I get, sure, we live in the age of the internet now, and there's a ton of like just anecdotal stories where you're like, who knows if this actually happened or not, whatever. But some of them are like documented things that happened historically of like, oh yeah, my, you know, 6-year-old son who could like identify World War II plane bomber models and stuff and like just knew things about wars that happened long before he was ever born, you know, and was like, oh yeah, that's the one I like died in and stuff. And you're like, that's crazy.
Wow.
Like, that's crazy and stuff like that, you know? And that's the stuff that I always think is, to me, is I'm like, that's what I want to know more about. Tell us more about your journey here and where you were and where you came from and how you came to be here and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So you feel like reincarnation is the thing? Or
me?
what? Yeah.
I don't
or
know.
you're fascinated by children who like are like, yes, I'm reincarnated, and you're like, that's
I think I'm
interesting.
fascinated when there are things that are documentable and unexplainable. I think that's always the stuff that I just find, you know, cool and interesting, and probably that's the kind of thing that, like, you know, steered me towards the sciences, because I'm like, I love knowing the answers to things. And so like any situation where there's not an answer, you know, which of course what was frustrating as someone who then went on to do like advanced degrees in science is then you learn that actually most
there's
science
no
is
answer,
like, we don't actually know why all of this works. We just figured out it did. And so we're going with it. And it was always what drove me the craziest in like it, both in like any of the classes I took while getting my degrees and stuff, but also has always been the thing that drives me crazy when this whole new mantra these days of like, well, I believe in science. And I'm like, sounds like someone who doesn't know a lot of science, if you ask me. Because the belief part of that is truly a big part of it. Like a lot of science is us not knowing stuff, actually. We're just working on like, well, the model fits. Why does it work?
Yeah.
Don't ask us. We just measured things and wrote an equation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think that's always what I find the most interesting, you know?
Yeah. Even I do clinical research for a living, and biological systems is what I study. And there's way more that we don't know about bodies and how they work than what we do know.
Yep.
So yeah,
this is true of almost everything.
Science. Yeah.
Every science kind of boils down to like, this is the best we've got, and we don't know why it works this way, in like completely contradictory ways where you're just like, it shouldn't be possible for both of these things to be true, but they are.
Yeah.
So you just go with whichever one happens to fit at the time, you know? It's great. It's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I have a theory of like what it's all gonna be, what's gonna happen, where do we go, what do we do, how does it work? I don't know, and it drives me bonkers not to know. Well, listen, as a person who A, loves understanding things and knowing the answer to things, and B, has like extremely prominent generalized anxiety, like it's not a good combination. Yeah, it's overall bad.
I mean, I feel like that. I mean, that is like, that's the thing with death in general, right? Like, I know you were talking about like fear of death linked with fear of love, but there's also like a huge link between fear of death and fear of unknown.
Yeah.
Because it's like I have a friend who's afraid of sharks. And so, like you said, get close to it, right? So she didn't get like in water with sharks, but
don't get intimate with sharks.
She wants to know.
Don't hug a shark.
Yeah. But she wants to know everything. I mean, it's
about
basically
sharks.
It's what you did as well, right? But there's more information, I think, for her about what you can know about sharks than there is about what you can know about death.
Yeah.
Right? Because at least you can know what a shark looks like, how many teeth it has. Like there's more specific things you can know.
This is true. Yeah.
Death is highly, highly theoretical.
And this is funny about us human animals, right? Like we do, there's so much we can't know. And we do have a lot of fear and it's fear of the unknown. And we're driven by fear so much. And what do we do to soothe ourselves? We collect information. We do research. And we try to soothe ourselves with knowledge. And it's
wow,
just
we're really reading me for filth right now is what's happening on this podcast. Okay?
I mean, I feel like it's a human experience, Lee. You are human.
Yeah. And honestly, I think probably the antidote is to embrace the unknown, embrace the unknowability. Because really, what can we know? We're locked inside these bodies and we can't ever experience anything directly. It's all filtered through the senses, which are very imprecise instruments, all of them. So,
Well, I feel like it's like we can bring it back to your work as well, because you have this podcast called Queering Reality. Like, I feel like it's like all comes together because it's also like what is death, but also like what is real, right?
Exactly.
Like you're saying, like I was thinking about this before we logged on. I'm curious what both of you, how would you define what is real? I don't know if I even have a good answer for it. I was like literally swirling in my head, but I'm curious. You can maybe start because you have a podcast about queering reality, but like, what's the definition of real to you?
Yeah, I just wrote an essay about this. That reality is a bad queer bitch. No, it's all real. Like all of it. Everything that we imagine, everything that we encounter, it's all real and it's all subjective. Like what's real for me is not real for you. So there is no objective reality. It's all personal. It's all subjective. And that's the shit of it, is that, and that's the reason why things are so fucked up in the way that they are in the world right now, is because truth is subjective and it's different for everybody, and everybody is a whole world. And the way that you see is not the way that I see. And the way that things feel when you touch them is not the way that they feel when I touch them. So it's just, it's all real and it's all not real. And that's the other frustrating thing about this lived experience, is that it's all paradox. And fiction is truth and truth is fiction.
And we cannot wrap our heads around. It makes our head want to explode.
See, but I'd even go further than that, which is like, I don't think there is even a subjective way to know what's real, because I don't think we can experience reality.
We literally physically can't.
Yeah.
It's like Plato's cave. Are you familiar with Plato's cave?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about Plato's cave.
Okay, so Plato's cave is this philosophical story about how we can't know what's real, which is that because we're in this human condition and everything is filtered through the senses, the closest that we can get to what's real is like Plato conceived of this. It's like being chained inside of a cave, so in such a way so that we can only look at the back wall of the cave, and we can see the shadows of the figures that are moving behind the mouth of the cave. And that's what's real, is moving outside the mouth of the cave, but all we can see is the shadows of that on the back wall of the cave. So that's as close as we can get to what's real from within the human condition. We can't turn around and look outside and see what's real. We can't regard anything directly because of how limited we are locked inside the bodies and the senses.
And it's funny because to some extent, we know that that's true, right? Like, to a large extent, I would say we kind of know that that's true, even in like really simple ways where it's like some people can see, oh gosh, I'm going to do this so badly because I'm a chemist and not a biologist or a person who studies eyes. So it's like basically we have like rods and cones in our eyes, right? And there's a third one that you can have that most people don't, but it makes you have like the ability to see, I think, into like a little bit of the UV spectrum. They can see like colors and things that most people can't see, right? But what that means is it's like there's a whole bunch of other stuff, like real stuff that exists that you could interact with that like our eyes just have not evolved to interact with. Right? Like there are so many things that we know that are like real, measurable, quantifiable parts of reality that we don't experience as humans, right?
Yeah.
And that means that's just the ones we happen to know about because we've found other ways to measure them or interact with them in some way, right? What do we not even know that's like what's not out? What are we missing? There's got it like it's outrageous to think there's not stuff that we just don't even know about.
It's like
Wouldn't
the
even know
depths
how to
of the
look for
ocean,
it.
right? It's like how
Right.
like we know about what, like 15% of the ocean or something. I don't know the percentage.
No, a
But-
distressingly low amount.
Yeah, like 2%.
Too small of a number for how big the
Yeah.
ocean is and how long it's just been here on the earth with us. Distressing.
Yes. Yes. But yes, I think you're correct. I feel like when I was thinking about it, I was like, I have no clue what is real. And like you said, I do feel like it's a hard world out there when like none of us see the same truths.
Yeah.
Because, and like, I feel like it is a little bit of like embracing that, but it's hard when you are like, I see a white door and you think it's black and I'm so confused because I fully see it and somehow I cannot grasp around my head that you see it a different color.
Yeah.
But the other person sees it a different color and is like, I don't understand how you see it this way.
Yeah.
But we'll never know because we don't exist in another person's body, right? Like you said, we are limited by our own bodies, brains.
Until possibly we die and are connected to everything.
Do we think that socialism exists in the afterworld? Do you think universal basic income will finally...
Have we solved the human condition
But yeah, we'll
on the other side?
find us in our balls of energy.
Gosh. Let's hope, right? Is that that's how we'll cure everyone's fear of death.
Yes, don't worry. After
we
death,
all have health insurance
you
on the
don't
other
need
side,
to-
everyone.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Oh God,
That's a good way to wrap up.
Yeah,
I think,
perfect,
right?
perfect.
What more hopeful message could we have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I had one more thing that I wanted to ask you that we didn't get to, and it's sort of random, but I'm so curious about your gay husbands and what that means.
Yeah. So I have my two kids with a gay male couple, and they are married to each other. I am not married to them. But my ex-wife and I, she had our daughter with one of them, and I had my son with the other one of them. Yeah, they're married to each other, and then we broke up, didn't make it, but we did all live together at one point, like Brady Bunch 2.0. And then she and I broke up and she moved out, and I continued to live with them and still do 11 years later. So yeah, we cohabitate and raise the kids, and they're my co-parents.
I love
feel
that.
like
I just feel like
there's
it's such,
There's nothing that deserves more this is the future liberals want. That's it. That's it. That's what we want.
Yeah.
I love it. We love it. Yeah, because some of my friends are trying to have babies right now, and I just feel like it's so tough if you don't have gay husbands to co-parent with.
Yeah, I can't believe, we have 2 kids and 4 parents, and it's a lot of work. I mean, I look at families that have, 1 parent and 2 kids, and I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
You are a fucking superhero. I can't believe How did you do it? My mom had 4 kids by herself at one point. Like,
wow.
Blows my mind.
It is crazy. But yes, I was so curious about that story. I needed to hear it. But yes, now we can wrap up, please.
We will end on UBI and health insurance for everyone on the other side. We're all
Yes.
going to have a hot gay party in hell.
Yes.
And if we haven't cured your fears of dying, there's no hope. Sorry, everyone.
Embrace it.
Yay. Thank you guys so much.
You are so welcome. Well, we still have a little bit more for you. So
Okay.
we're just going to ask you some multiple choice questions. It's our Q and gay.
And gay.
Question number 1. What is the closest you've come to dying? A, legally declared dead. B, ICU. C, broken bone. Or D, hangnail.
B, ICU.
Okay, question 2. Have you ever had visions during orgasm? A, yes. B, only colors or shapes. C, only auditory. Or D, no.
A, yes.
Now,
All right,
I'm really curious what people are going to say about that now. Now I need to know more.
Yes. I do feel like there's a very, very wide spectrum. All right. Question number 3. How do you deal with your biggest fears? A, avoidance, B, hyper research, C, exposure therapy, or D, acceptance?
B, hyper research.
Yes.
It's relatable content. Question 4. What do you think happens after we die? A, heaven, hell. B, some sort of astral plane. C, ghost haunting. Or D, nothing.
E, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. You can do
Good
right.
answer, good answer.
Yeah.
And our final question, number 5. Are you scared of dying? Yes or no?
Yes.
I also agree with you. I feel mistrustful of anyone who says no.
I want to know what level of dissociation it takes to hit no. Like
that's impressive.
I have yet to attain, and I'm curious. You know?
Mm-hmm. And remember, listeners, you can give us your own answers to this episode's Q&A questions on our Instagram at Lez Hang Out Pod. Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much. It's been such a joy.
It's been great. I'm really contemplating the whole universe right now. Where can our listeners find you on social media? Where can they find your book?
Yes, www.learley.com, ELEARLEY.com is my website. You can get it all there.
Yet again, thank you so much. What a great conversation.
Yes, thank you guys. I've really enjoyed you.
We love hearing from you and building community, so we want to shout out some of our favorite things each episode. And we would like to shout out a Instagram DM from Armani, who said they're going back to our Should Have Been Gay episode on bridesmaids. And during the part where we spoke about food allegories from eating fish together to the vulva cupcake, she had a few other honorable mentions, so I'd like to let you all know. Number 1, the obvious one, they all went to a meat restaurant and immediately got sick from it, which is actually comedy.
So true.
And number 2, if the movie was as gay as it was originally supposed to be, the Jordan Allman scene would have been far more Dommy Mommy vibes than it already was. And I can't believe we didn't mention the Fight Club. I'm surprised we didn't mention the Greased Up Fight Club. So thank you for bringing us back to that beautiful moment. Because Bridesmaids, very, very gay film. Love it.
We did have a lot of fun with that one.
Mm-hmm. I want to watch Bridesmaids now.
As always, we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Lizette Stye,
Adi Benitez,
Sophia Phillips,
and Armani Gucci.
And our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen.
And Andrea Doucette. Thank you all so much. We could not keep making this podcast without you.
Remember, you can find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Lez Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at lezhangoutpod@gmail.com.
Check out our website at lezhangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use to listen to podcasts, make sure you subscribe. That way you'll get new episodes as soon as they go up every week.
We're also putting videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/lezhangoutpod to catch them.
Lez Hang Out is an independently produced show. It's hosted by us. Our audio production is done by Ellie. Our production assistant is Krista Murison. And various other podcasting shenanigans are done by me.
If you want to support the podcast, you can rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. We love hearing what you have to say.
You can join our Patreon. You get access to all of our Patreon extracurricular episodes. You get access to our Discord chat, and it is one of the best ways to help make sure we can keep making this show. You can join us at bit.ly/LezPatreon.
If you want to get some Lez Hang Out merch, you can get that at our new merch store at bit.ly/LezMerch. It is coming around time to get your orders in for Christmas for your favorite lesbian in your life.
Remember, we also have a queer production company making queer podcast musicals with guaranteed happy endings. You can find that everywhere at Dollar Bean Prod.
Or at our website, dollarbeanproductions.com.
You can listen to all of the episodes of our first 2 shows, The Flame and Journey to the Heart, on any podcasting app.
And if you want to help support us in making more musicals, you can join our Patreon at bit.ly/dollarbeanpatreon.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Ellis H. Foster.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Ellie Brigida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
There are names that echo in the world of true crime. Names that carry unanswered questions. Oakley Carlson, a 5-year-old girl who deserved safety, protection, and love. Yet the system built to protect her failed, and Oakley disappeared. Her community still calls her name.
Or Ellen Greenberg, found in her locked apartment with 20 stab wounds. A case declared a suicide. But how does a locked apartment tell 2 different stories at once?
These are not just cases we have covered. They are people. They were loved, and they mattered.
Their stories deserve to be told with care, with depth, with truth.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Ricky.
We are the husband and wife duo behind Crime Salad.
Every week, we uncover stories of the missing, the silence, the misunderstood. We ask the questions that were left behind. We refuse to let these stories be forgotten.
Because behind every case is a family holding on, a community seeking answers, and a story that deserves to be heard.
We invite you to listen to Crime Salad,
Your healthy portion of true crime, wherever you get your podcasts.